30% OBCs, 21% Dalits. Of course, the BJP more or less has written off mostly the 26 to 27% Jats in the state, Rajdeep. Intensely bipolar. You were here in my state just about a week ago. I actually, Rajdeep, feel that this is a negative vote election and not so much of wanting to bring a party in. It's more or less कि इस पार्टी को हटाना है because there's anti-incumbency और जो भी हो उसको लेके आना है जो ये हरा दे.
Look, that's the history of Haryana. If you look at Haryana politics, by and large, Haryana has tended to vote out a government. Go back to even the likes of Devi Lal. It's not as if Haryana has chosen in the past because they believe one side necessarily offers them better options than the other. If the Congress, as many pollsters or pundits seem to suggest, is ahead, it's only because it's seen as a default option after 10 years of anti-incumbency against the BJP. Look, for the BJP, the attempt will be, can we make what appears to be becoming a bipolar election as multi-cornered as possible? Can we ensure that as many independents, as many smaller parties are able to pick up a sufficient number of votes, if not seats, to try and ensure that this anti-incumbency vote gets split? If you look at 2014, the INLD had at that time won 31 seats. Look at 2019, the JJP picked up 10 seats and several independents picked up substantial number of votes. Now, that's the BJP's best bet in this last few days. Can they ensure enough multi-cornered contests to ensure that the anti-incumbency vote gets split? It's not easy. In most situations, particularly after 10 years in power. But if any party can do it, it is the BJP, because the BJP does have the election noose to be able to do it. And therefore, you've got the JJP with Chandrasekhar Azad, you've got INLD tying up with Mayawati, and the hope the BJP will have, there are sufficient number of rebels of both the Congress and the BJP who are powerful enough to pick up a sufficient number of votes.
Right.
That's the best chance for the BJP to try and offset what otherwise appears to be a strong anti-incumbency in favor of the Congress.
You know, Rajdeep, you are right. And on the ground, it actually looks like this time around the strategy is poised, at least where the BJP is concerned, hoping that the independents pull it in. This is the maximum number of independents that have stood in a Haryana election so far, viewers. And I'll give you an example, and we'll bring in Amitabh Tiwari into this debate. Because, you know, where Maushmi is hoping to go, and possibly I'll see her there, which is Julana tomorrow, the seat of Vinesh Fogart, hot seat, high-profile seat. There are 14 independent Jat candidates facing off against Vinesh Fogart. So imagine that she might have the support of the Congress and the peasants and the Jats in her seat, but there are 14 others, Jats, who are going to take away and chip away some of that vote. And, you know, on the other hand, where I've just come from, the seat of Ladwa, you know, which is the Chief Minister Nayab Singh Saini's seat. Now, there are, again, 8 Jats which are standing, because this is a seat dominated by the Sainis and the Jats. They are in practically the same number there. And the Jat 6, they have about 6 Jat Sikh candidates as independents who are standing. There are about 8 Jat candidates who are standing, all hoping to take away some of that Congress vote, you know, and help the BJP factor. So independents, Amitabh Tiwari, which are playing a huge part this time around to pull in that crucial vote, especially helping the BJP. The question is, will this be an intensely bipolar election where the independents will just fall by the wayside, or do you think, because they've done it so in the past, that they could hold the key in the end?
See, essentially, even if you see the 2014 elections, BJP won 47 seats on a vote share of mere 33%. So we've seen highly triangular contests in 2014 and 19. We saw a fairly bipolar contest in 2024 general election. As you mentioned, 47% of candidates this time are independents. So the strategy of the Congress is to make it bipolar. However, given the local nature of the elections, and since both the groups have very polarized voting segments or anchor blocks, like Jats plus Muslims, and then you have OBCs plus general category on the BJP side and Jats plus Muslim on the Congress. The Dalits are floating in between, you can say, and they could be the kingmakers. Because of the 17 seats of SC reserved, no party has ever won these seats consecutively. INLD won in 2009, BJP won in 2014, and Congress was leading in 2019. See, there is an interesting figure.
Yes.
Congress was leading against the BJP in 51 direct contests in 2019, 26, 25. But it was not able to win even 14, 15 seats out of the balanced 40 seats because smaller parties like JJP pushed it to the third slot on 11 seats and others on 6 seats, as you were mentioning. So this number of independents could play a role in a marginally hung sort of a situation. The entry of Rahul Gandhi, what it does is it has both positive and negative aspects. Positive is that it could nationalize the election to a certain extent, and that could keep away the independents and smaller parties. But on the other hand, it could also pit Modi versus Rahul. So that's also one of the things which could happen. So we will have to see how this pans out, and
Right.
independent smaller parties could play a
But
role.